Hey, it's Mazzy. Welcome back. The Grammys have always been sort of a love-hate thing for a lot of people. They've had their highs, they've had their lows. They always seem to be 2 steps or 5 steps or 100 steps behind what was happening going back to the 1960s even. I think, Toto and Christopher Cross, not Criss Cross, but Christopher Cross, I think won more Grammys in one night than at the time the Beatles had in their entire career. Now, I don't mean to favor the Beatles, but just as an example, they always seem a little behind the scenes, and they always seem to reflect, at least the main awards, on big friggin' selling records. And the Grammys for 2025 were just announced, and I'm not going to go through the list, but I was surprised that I had a number of records, and I'm just going to kind of go through some of the records I have and the categories they're nominated for. And I am not going to pick winners or losers or say this one's better than the other. Music is not a competition, I've said before, but we love competitions. We love pitting bands and artists and singers and players against each other, don't we? That's why you like ranking videos. So I thought I'd go through some. The obvious thing to start out with, the album to start out with, that got the most, I think historically, the most Grammy nominations is Cowboy Carter from Beyoncé. And this literally is one of my favorite albums of the year. This combines both versions. I won't get into the details of that, but let me just kind of tell you how many awards, or at least what nominations, what categories this album was nominated in. And let me say one thing again. There's so many friggin' subgenres and genres. I looked it over the whole list. And, like in the rap category, there's urban rap, modern rap, cowboy rap, rap. Same with country, all country, new folk, old folk, traditional folk, rock, alternative rock. There's so many different subcategories that if you don't get nominated, you're probably really a loser these days. I mean, because there's so many friggin' categories to placate somebody. Best rock record with an accordion, best rap record with accordion, best country record without a banjo, or bluegrass, I should say. But there is bluegrass too. Anyway, I'm kind of just warming up to do this video because how silly it can be. Woody Allen said it best in Annie Hall when he arrives in Los Angeles. He says, all they do in this city is give out awards. And I'm paraphrasing, but that was a great line in Annie Hall. So let's start with this album. This really is a good record. Now, apparently recently the Country Music Award show that was at the CM, whatever it is, CME, CMAs, did not give her a nomination for Beyoncé for this country record. Now, is it a country record? It's got country influences all over it, definitely, and some country artists and some collaborations with country artists. But at its root, it's a country record, a country soul pop record. Wonderful record. So this album got nominated for Album of the Year. It got nominated for Record of the Year and Song of the Year for the song Texas Hold'em, which is on here, which is actually a really good song. Pop duo with Post Malone for the song called Levi's Jeans. There's a product placement if there ever was one. Give you a little other shots when I'm talking here. Country solo performance for 16 Carriages. Country song, Texas Hold'em again. And Beyoncé featuring Miley Cyrus, Most Wanted, the two Most Wanted. So there you go. This may be coming back, we'll see, later in this video, but let's move on. Now, Record of the Year also, and I'm not going to list all the things, only the records I have. And Record of the Year, Now and Then by the Beatles. I thought that's the silliest thing. I mean, I'm all for the Beatles, and I love the Beatles, as you know, but come on. It's a novelty. It's a novelty record. It's fun, but it's not that great. I like it. Is it necessary? No. But Record of the Year? Really? I'm not having that. One of the best albums that I've said this year, too, is All Born Screaming by St. Vincent. I absolutely love this record. I saw her several months ago perform. It's pretty amazing. I just love this record. Now, she got nominated for, let's see, Best Alternative Music and Alternative Music Performance for the song Flee. Really great record. I think it's a modern record. It's a good record, well-produced record. I love this record by St. Vincent. There were some prizes and some of my favorite albums of the year and some of my, of course, favorite artists of the year. Let's go with Nick Cave. Nick Cave's recent album, Wild God. It's just kind of slipped in the last couple months here, but Best Alternative Music and Alternative Music Performance for the Song of the Lake. So he's up against St. Vincent and someone else I'm going to show in a little bit, but I mean, he looks so excited here to be nominated. I'd love him to do a performance at the Grammys, even though I don't always watch the Grammys, but it's gospel-y. I mean, he's a crowd pleaser, definitely. If you've never seen Nick Cave, you ought to, and maybe you'll get into his music more if you're not into it. You kind of like when your team, and I hate to use the word team, but an album that you like gets included in these things, even though it really doesn't matter. It matters for sales, and the labels love it. I'm sure the artists enjoy it. Next, another, to me, a major surprise. And I like this record, and it took me a while to warm up to it, and that's Kim Gordon's record. And this is The Collective. Now, Kim Gordon, of course, bass player from Sonic Youth. This is obviously noisy, more electronic than her last album, which I adore. But this took a while for me to warm up, but I really enjoy it now. The thing about Kim Gordon, when you hear her sing and you hear her play, she sounds like she couldn't care less to be there. You know, she sounds so blasé in her singing, but that's kind of the beauty of her work. Like, I'm just, what's the song? The Candy House, you know, give me a break. But she's great live, and I love Kim Gordon. You know, kind of that. I mean, they're a major influencer, that band, Sonic Youth. This is on Matador Records, and it's a good record. It's a very good record. But it has that more of that electronic sound than just screechy, new wavy stuff. But that's okay. I mean, an artist has to do different things and develop and, you know, try different things. Of course, they did that stuff way back, too. So, Best Rock Album, another Best Rock Album. I don't even know if I mentioned this category yet, but Jack White's record. It looks like he went to a RV paper factory and got this cover. Not a great cover. And I usually like plain covers sometimes, but I mean, just to show you lyrics, there's nothing to see here, folks. This is a good record. It's not a record that I love. Would I have nominated? To me, there's other records I would have nominated before it. But that got Best Rock Album. Best Rock Album also. Okay, I should continue in that category. The latest album by Pearl Jam. Now, I like this album with an asterisk. Is it Andrew Watt who produced this, and as well as the new Stones album? I don't like that squashed sound. I mean, I'm not one that gets freaked out by the loudness wars and production, but come on, this could have been such a dynamically better sounding record. I always say it's the music first, stupid, and that is totally true. But when the sound of the record gets in the way of the music, I think that's what happened here. A good album that could have been a great album, Pearl Jam, but it got nominated for Best Rock Album. Also, not really a surprise, but Hackney Diamonds. Isn't Andrew Watt the same producer? Again, this sounds better, but it could sound even better. Again, that modern mastering sound. But this is a good rock and roll record, and it's a real surprise. Stones put out a Grammy-nominated record in 2024, 2025. Andrew Watt, yeah, again. Is it Andrew Watt here? Pearl Jam up against the Rolling Stones. Richmond, England, London, versus Seattle, Washington. And isn't he rock album too? Yeah, against wherever he's from, you know, Jack White. Okay, now we're getting into Best Rock Song. We got St. Vincent, and St. Vincent on here, Broken Man from this album, okay. Best Rock Song. We got Dark Matter from Pearl Jam. I do have my cheat sheet here. How can you remember all these categories and sub things and cross-pollination of music and artistry, which is kind of cool, though. And we have, now this might be my favorite. This might be my pick. Again, I wasn't going to pick winners and losers here, but I might. This Black Keys, but what I like here is the song Beautiful People Stay High. It's a collaboration with Beck, and it's really great. This record seems to be a sleeper under the radar. Of course, they used to be really big, and they're not even selling out the big venues, but that's not what it's about. It's about the music, and it's about the records. And I was surprised. This is one of their, I mean, they've never made a bad record, but I kind of got, samey, tired of them. But this is an excellent record. Black Keys, but that song that got nominated for Best Rock Song. Okay? Best Rock Performance. The Beatles Now and Then. I mean, Ringo and Paul adding to tapes and all the special effects and the AI and the, all that stuff. Come on. Give me a break. Best rock performance. I love the Beatles. You know that. You all know that. But come on already. The Black Keys, Beautiful People Stay High. Yes. With Beck? Yes. Green Day I don't have. The Idols I don't have. Pearl Jam, Dark Matter. We're back to Pearl Jam again. Here's Seattle coming in strong, baby. Seattle's here again. And then we got, did I say St. Vincent? I think I already said St. Vincent. See, it's so confusing with all these records here. St. Vincent. And that is Broken Ma. St. Vincent. So now let's go into sort of the acoustic-y. This is an area that I love as well, and I'm pleasantly surprised by some of these nominations. Again, I'm always curious about sub-genres. Okay, when you get to country and folk and alternative folk, alternative country, Americana. We didn't even know what that was 40 years ago, 30 years ago, but we have Best Folk Album. We have, am I getting this right? Let's see here. Best Folk Album, Woodland Studios. Okay? And this is Gillian Welch and David Rawlings. What a great record. Acoustic folk. Now, okay, this is, again, Best Folk Record. Now, this is also Americana, so it could have been in that category. How do they judge? I guess maybe the artists and labels submit to a specific category, and you don't want to, water it down and put it in many categories. I don't know how that works. I'm kind of out of the loop with the Academy and the Grammy nominating journey. But this could be a country record. It could be a gospel. There's a gospel. There's several gospel records. There's Christian records. There's gospel records. I don't think there are any Jewish record categories. I mean, or Jewish producer categories, or Jews in the record business categories. That would be interesting. But there's not. Am I offended? No, of course not. But anyway, this is a Best Folk Record, and it's a really wonderful record. Woodland Studios is the name of their studio, and was in Nashville, I believe. But what a great record. Also in the folk category, and this surprised me that they would nominate it. And I don't know why it surprised me, because it's possibly my favorite record of the year. And this is Bright Future by Adrian Lenker. God, this is an intimate folk record, and it's perfect for the folk category, but it could be Americana too. And of course, when you put a cowboy hat on the cover, that helps you get nominated quicker. You get a little more, score more points. Of course, that would be in the country section, really. So, but Adrian Lenker, I love this record. It's so good. And I went back and got all her records I didn't have. So I want to thank all my friends that turned me on to her and this record. And it's really good. And yeah, it's going to be my best of this year. And the other one that got nominated, not in the folk record category, not in the gospel record category, but in the Americana category, is T-Bone Burnett's The Other Side, a very favorite artist of mine. What a wonderful producer. He's doing that new Ringo country album that's coming out next year. This has a very gospel sense. You know, he is a Christian, and he produced his ex-wife for years, who was originally a Christian artist, Sam Phillips, but they don't push it out. But this has gospel religious overtones, but that's what's beautiful about it. It's a folky country album that he expresses himself beautifully, but he's not preaching and pushing it on you to say, hey, you need to follow my religion or something. I mean, he's definitely talking about Jesus and God, and he came down, come back when you go away, waiting for you someday, the pain of love, the first light of day, everything and nothing. It's a really beautiful, well-recorded record. You know, a lot of those acoustic and percussive instrumentations that T-Bone Burnett always has when he produces other artists. I'm listening now to the Elvis Costello King of America, a reissue that he produced in, 1986, 87. And I just forgot how great the sound of that record is, and the songwriting of Elvis Costello. Another video, maybe next week, I talk about that. But another great record nominated for a Grammy Award. But again, all the subcategories and everything else, and of course, the Mind Games Cube, the massive cube. If you watch my video, you know what I'm talking about. There's all these different variations of Mind Games, of kumbaya mixes and meditation mixes, but there's that big box with all the artwork, that cube, that massive cube got nominated for Best Box Set or Limited Edition Packaging. Now, if that doesn't win, there's a Hound of Love thing that was nominated too. I don't remember even seeing that. Maybe it was a UK thing. Kate Bush. I didn't see that one. But that's a massive set. I think a couple years ago, the Uber box by George Harrison. So the bigger you design a box, you're more guaranteed to get a special packaging Grammy for it. Do it massive, do it big, do it expensive, and you're guaranteed to win. So thank you for watching. Will I watch the Grammys this year? I don't know. All those, the main big categories that they show on television are the big pop, R&B, soul, rock categories, but the pop and all these pop artists like Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift and, all those are nominated in all the categories. And, it's about fucking time women are at the top of the pile being nominated, because they really got pushed out in years past, going back to the 70s. But, I'm not a huge fan of all the pop music, but who cares? It's for a different generation. And if you love music, it doesn't really matter. But it is a gimmick, and everything has to be produced and danced. Just a different genre and subgenre and subgenre. Anyway, Grammys 2025. Mazzy loves you.